Gonna start that. Go! Welcome back for game number 2, everybody. Now, there was a little bit of confusion. This guy did wind up playing both, or Sentinel here did wind up playing both games from Catalyst. That's not in the rules that you play it on the same map, but spawning into the bottom right-hand corner. Currently up 1-0 in the series. It's the teal Protoss pieces from Combat Engineers. It is Sentinel. And his opponent. In the top left-hand corner. Curious to see whether or not this guy is going to throw some cheeky at us. Quick ping there. Always got to ping where he's at. The top left-hand corner. It's the green Terran pieces of wololol. Wololol? Or is it Rogue? Sorry for the wait again, guys. So we're going to jump right back into it here. Alright, game 2. So first game, it was a bit of an awkward, dude, mate, you're going to spend your money situation, some floating barracks, bunch of Hellions, some Banshees, you know, that sort of deal from our Green Terran player, which Protoss basically just charge lots, and some Stalkers that said, knock, knock, I'm here. The drop not going to do anything, as it was awkwardly dropped. Tip to any Terran players listening, whenever you go for a drop of Widow Mines, you make sure you boost your medevac in there and then spread the drop and then immediately bury the Widow Mines. You can't walk them in because that gives your opponent time to react to the drops. Nothing on the production tab here for Sentinel. Looks like he is going to get a Nexus started up. So he doesn't play too cheeky in both games. In the top left-hand corner, though, we do have a reactor. This time looks like a little bit more standardized Terran play coming out of our Green Terran player. To get stuff together, things together here. Hopefully bounce back and tie the series at 1 apiece. I did find out that he is a gold player against Sentinel, who is plat. Now, I'm not too sure where he's at in gold, but it doesn't necessarily mean that a gold player is completely out of the game. Now, we do have a Cybernex core on the way, Gateway on the way as well, and Wololol up here is just indeed going to wind up taking his commands there a little bit more on point this time so far this game. See if he just macros up or tries for something cheeky. We do have a factory coming down. So far, everything looking pretty similar in game number 2. Yeah, it should be an adept if that's the case. It should be an adept popping out here very shortly. Does have an adept coming out for a teal Protoss of Sentinel. Yeah, I just love watching these Sentinel or adepts, man. Look at this. Look at how majestic it is. She is like possibly my second favorite unit this game. First is this little toss up between the Marine or the Widow Mine. You know, like both of those are a little bit more what I like to play with, obviously. I should learn some adept builds because like a mass amount of adepts just running across the map in like their robes and stuff. It looks so amazing. Like speedlings. It's so much fun to watch speedlings run. 4 adepts here. Gonna try and keep this adept out. He does realize that there is a factory going down. I hope he clicked that. I hope he actually clicked that and saw what it was being built up there. Okay, he does look a second time. He is gonna throw a shade. Watch Sentinel's vision here to see what he sees. He's not really leaving it up there long enough to scout. That's something he might want to catch on and make sure he takes care of. Now, charge is on the way, 1+1's on the way, so it looks like a pretty standard build once again on the Sentinel. Looks like he has his build order set. He's sticking to his swords or energy beams, the side blades. SCV doing a breakdance there, kind of stuck. Yeah, for being a gold player, Wololol is actually really on point in some cases in checking things. I mean, he does have an idle SCV here, down by the starport. I imagine he'll put that back to work here. Yeah, he does have it selected. He's going to send it over to start building some more units or start mining once again. I mean, he is rather paying attention really well to everything that's going on the map. You know, he's keeping tabs on his multitasking. He's making sure he's getting stuff built, not just sitting there like he was in game number 1. I think he's a different player. Like, he's had a warm-up game. Now he's ready to play. What's funny is Sentinel is actually sticking to the exact same build order. And in some cases, that's not always the best thing to do. Because now that your opponent has seen it once, if they suspect a similar thing, like the adept timing here, being here outside his natural base and just keep throwing these shades, getting that scouting information is a big tell. Like, hey, this might just be the same build. Maybe I should maybe get into some liberators. You know, which he does have on the way is a liberator. The liberator is out. Maybe get into some, I don't know, maybe some ghosts or EMPs on the shields, or, you know, just tech up a little bit and try to out-tech your opponent. I mean, that is an option, but I imagine that's not the way wololol here is going to want to play it. We do have Sentinel adding on a couple more gateways, a robotics facility on the way. And a forge is about to finish up +1. Charge is done, and I imagine he was going to make a timing base here with a +1, or he's just going to wait and time it out a little bit more. Liberator heading southbound. Going to get in here and try and poke some of these here probes. Let's just see if he waits or sieges it up immediately. He's clicking way too many times. He just needs to siege it up. Just tell your unit to siege up. Don't worry about where you siege it. As long as it's hitting a probe, it's going to hit the stalker once, and he's going to unsiege it and run away. Now, he probably could have actually killed both these stalkers had he just left it there. But now that you have a battered and bruised liberator, it looks like he's being held together by some duct tape based on that health bar. I should really learn to clear off these health bars from only damage mode, but I don't like doing that because I keep on forgetting I did that, and then I play a game and it's just... Anyway, this here was on a mission to make sure there's no third base down, and he is just scouting around the map, making sure there's nothing too interesting or too cheeky going on. Well, wololol just adding on some tanks, adding on more marines, adding on some marauders, getting that bio composition together. Right now, his army supply is behind Sentinels. But that could change very, very easily. He's ahead. His worker supply is behind Sentinels, which I feel that's something he needs to catch on and actually start to update and get on page with. Couple zealots poking around here, making sure there's no expansions. So I do want to throw something out here about the expansion on this map. As a Terran, you can kind of get away with dual expoing here for your third. But as a Protoss or a Zerg, this rock right here is like everything for this third base being on the low ground. Because say a Terran or Zerg scouts that, or a Protoss scouts that, they come up and say kill this pile of rocks. It's the same thing on the other side. Your third base is now completely forfeit. You can't defend that, which means you have to cancel it, or lift it, get it out of there, or just completely lose it if you finished it. So where you expand on the map does kind of matter. I mean, this is a base you will eventually want to take. It is a low ground expansion, so there's always a little bit more risk in taking that. There's all going to come up here, revealing he does have charge and poke at this supply depot. That's going to prompt the response of siege these tanks up! Siege it up! Turtle out! He's coming for me! Meanwhile, the entire army of Sentinels still on the other side of the map. Getting a third base down. Getting that expo up and running. Twilight Council going to be added on here at Templar Archives. Going to get his storm started up. Get them High Templar out because he knows there is a mass biocomposition, so why not just go into Storm Tech and storm out his opponent. So from there, what does wololol have in store for us? He's a +1 on the way. All right. There's something else. You're keeping 100 mineral, 100 gas tied up here, Rogue. wololol, Rogue, whatever you go by, mate. Our green Terran player. You're keeping a Marauder, maybe a Widow Mine tied up here. You know, just keeping probably another tank on the build queue tied up by stacking your upgrades like that. Granted, you don't have to worry about getting your +1 armor started right away, but if you open up with a second eBay, get both your upgrades for 1-1 about the same time, they'll finish at the same time, and you can just move out with 1-1 instead of +1 attack, enter your opponent's extended thermal lance and +2. I mean, you do have stim and combat shield. I mean, that's something, I guess, but I feel that's not going to be enough here when you walk up this ramp. Storm is that done, so he is hitting a time that he could just move out here and hit a perfect timing with this. But the thermal lance is done with +1 attack on these Colossus. His bio is just going to get shredded by the... Oh my gosh, even the High Templar getting in here and just shredding this Terran army who command moved a little bit too much. He should have sieged these tanks on the low ground and it fought in range of the tanks. But now it is all Protoss from here. It's a Medivacs trying to headbutt down these Sentinels. Or the Sentinels of Sentinel, so to speak. Just like that. Down to 30 army supply is our Terran player in green. try frantically to get his army back together, but you know the slow build times of Terran will not allow you to do that right away. That's why it's important. That's why Terran is all about your timing attacks. Moving out when 1-1 is done, moving out when stem is done, doing some damage, getting that +1 started, doing some damage, getting that +2 rolling, and just hitting as the upgrades roll in. But if you just sit here and macro up against a Protoss player, you give them the chance to get Storm, give them the chance to get their Colossus tech up. You don't have the Vikings out to deal with it. You don't have the army out to deal with it now. That's just going to be it. I mean, Willow's wall is just going to get shredded here. Supply depot is going to go down. Storm reigning supreme all over that army behind that wall. And not even moving out of the storm is our Green Terran player, who looks like he is just dead in the water here. SCV is still mining like a champ. But it's not going to matter, as Sentinel will secure himself that 2-0 victory. Guys, it is Magi signing off once again, saying I will see you in the next one.